This is Bruce Schwartau, and this is just a short video to kind of go along with my poster at the Galaxy Conference. I'm looking at trade center hierarchy studies and ways that we were able to make it faster and a little bit less expensive at Minnesota. It really goes back to why are we studying trade center hierarchies? Because it is useful to know the availability of goods and services throughout the state. It's also useful for investors and entrepreneurs that are thinking of expanding or developing new businesses. And also, it's important for transportation planning to establish regional corridors. And it can be useful for peer city comparisons if you're doing retail trade studies to compare one city to another city. This is just a brief map, and what you'll find when you do a trade center hierarchy is you'll find different trade center hierarchies spread throughout the state. One thing I found while presenting at a transportation conference was how important trade center hierarchies are to establishing the regional corridors that are needed for the transportation department. They have certain requirements that they were looking for between trade center level 1 cities and trade center level 2 cities. So it was important for them to really have a good idea of where these trade centers are and how they're distributed throughout the state. The original study that was done with the Federal Reserve back in 1963, and really it depended on what types of stores you had in a community. You know, whether you were a full convenience store or a complete shopping center, or were you a wholesale and retail center as well. And looking at 1963, many of the types of stores that we saw then, we don't really even have any around anymore. So the study really needed to be updated. Came the 1989 study. What was added was done in Bradstreet data, and they used a standard industrial classification system for counting the businesses, and they did change the center level names as well. In 1999, it was updated once more, and it included statistical analysis, including some information from the Claritas Corporation. But at that time, they suggested it really should be switching to NAICS, and it should include sales information because it may be more useful. That's where we came in 2009. We used a trade center study that really looked at the same trade center level titles, but we used taxable sales as our criteria rather than the number of and types of businesses that there were. Also, because of technology, we used city boundaries instead of the zip code because we can now use GIS. When we did this and we found the relationship testing that we used using the sales tax data had a strong connection with the earlier studies and basically justified its use. You know, really, do you need access to sales data when in your state? Well, you might find out what current departments are using trade center hierarchy in some of their things. Are your transportation departments doing that? Is your commerce department doing it? Show the cost comparisons, because we found this was much cheaper using sales tax numbers than trying to do the information of what types of businesses there were in all these towns. And show the public value for other uses of that sales data, such as doing market analysis reports and retail analysis. Just look at the examples that you can find at Iowa State and the University of Minnesota. Find the right partner. You know, maybe the Department of Revenue in your state is the right partner. They're the ones who are probably collecting the data. They maybe already have the report, but they just don't release it to the public. Maybe check with the Department of Commerce or legislative committees that are concerning economic development or maybe commerce. Maybe some of the cities or counties organizations within your state may be the ones to partner with, and certainly your state economic development organizations. So really, take a look to see how Iowa and Minnesota has used this information, and then see if it's possible that you can get this information for your own state as well. If you have questions, contact me, Bruce Schwartau, at the University of Minnesota Extension at the email address on the screen. Thanks for joining me on this video.